This is pretty epic. Calliope 3 is trending on Twitter. And it's because, if you don't know, Calliope has been doing this great campaign to be able to stream Persona 3. Now, I had planned on moving on to the next part of the video. However, I'm sure some people are wondering what this GIF is. So there you go. There's the full GIF. Okay, moving on. Here's what Twitter says. Trending in the United States, hashtag Calliope 3. Fans want Atlas to allow Mori to play Persona 3.
Can I play it? Can I play Persona 3 now? Please, Atlas Video Game Company. Please give me a sign. If you can hear me, give me a sign.
Now, I don't think this is the sign she was looking for, but the video freezes next, which is kind of eerie. Take a look.
Please make the lights flicker. Atlas Video Game Company, if you can hear me, please give me a sign. I'm begging you.
That clip comes from Mori's stream this morning. Now, I tuned in periodically. I don't know what the whole stream was about. However, every time I tuned in, she was asking Atlas to let her play the game. I think the entire stream was her making her case, which is pretty epic. Now, I'm sure there are a few people who don't understand why Mori can't play Persona, and I'll try to explain that right now. Essentially, to keep it simple, it falls back to Mori being a part of hololive, hololive being cover core, and previous issues they had with copyright from other Japanese companies. Essentially, you have some Japanese gaming companies like Atlas trying to get a slice of the revenue that hololive is bringing in, and due to the way copyright and fair use and other legalities are in Japan, you can actually argue that those companies are not in the wrong. And to be fair, it seems like hololive agrees with that sentiment because they haven't fought back against it legally, to my understanding. They actually did what those gaming companies want, and that's why we are where we're at right now with Mori, and other examples that have previously occurred, such as with Nintendo, etc., etc. Let me also disclaim that I don't know what inner dealings go on between hololive and these other gaming companies. For all I know, they almost went to court and they settled in mediation, so it never went to court, and they found, reasonable terms for each party. I don't know the specifics behind the scenes, but you get the gist of it. So I think chances are Atlas will be in talks with Covercore, if they weren't already, to allow their talent to stream Atlas games, or Persona specifically, however they work it out. I think it's reasonable to assume that this will work out, though, and Mori will eventually be allowed to play Persona. As you can see, a Japanese company making revenue off streaming Japanese games can become a complicated issue. However, it's a lot more clear-cut how copyright and fair use works in the United States of America. That said, even here in the US, it can be a complicated and even convoluted situation. We have new precedent being set pretty regularly. However, let's take a look at this from Atlas. This is an example of the backlash they received previously for trying to enact streaming guidelines, as they put it. Now, the way I saw it, and it seems many others saw it as well, is that Atlas wasn't trying to make guidelines. They were literally trying to dictate how people could stream their games, even if Atlas had no legal merit to do so. However, they did apologize. Let's take a look. They say, an update on Persona 5 and streaming, and this comes from Atlas.com. When Persona 5 launched, we put out a set of video/streaming guidelines that we hoped would limit online spoilers for fans who have yet to play the game. So here's the part where they made a big mistake. Just because they don't want people getting spoiled doesn't mean they can dictate how the law works. They write, to our surprise, we then saw numerous reactive news articles go up. I really don't like the framing there. Reactive news articles? Okay. Opinion videos post and received many emails asking us to please change our Persona 5 streaming/video policy. We recognize that our fans are the reason why the game is the major worldwide success it is, and we continue to want them to be able to enjoy the game without fear of being spoiled. However, we also heard your issues with the guidelines and have decided to revise them because we want to give players the most access to the game while respecting the original goal. We're now asking players to refrain from streaming or posting video past the end of the in-game date of 11/19 when the main story gears up for the final act. We also want to apologize to those of you who saw the previous guidelines blog post as being threatening. In my opinion, it was threatening. It really gave off a terrible implication, and it seems like a lot of people also took it that way because, again, hence the backlash, and that's why they phrased it above. We're now asking players, not trying to tell and demand how it works, even if it's illegal. Again, I'm not saying that it was. I'm not a lawyer, first of all. I'm just a weeb with a mic talking about my opinion on things. Continuing, they say, we want to be transparent about what we do, and the reason we released the guidelines was to give streamers the right information up front. The right information according to who? The law or what you want, right? They say it was never our intention to threaten people with copyright strikes, but we clearly chose the wrong tone for how to communicate this. Lastly, we want to thank our fans around the world for supporting Persona 5 and Atlas. The game is a global success because of your position for the series, and we're happy that so many of you are enjoying it. And let me say right here, if you're enjoying Persona 5 and Atlas games, or Persona games and Atlas games, totally fine, no problem. Enjoy the games, they're pretty good. But, the way Atlas was running their company in this sense with copyright and all that, not a good look at all. So that's it for this segment. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully Mori will be able to play Persona again. I think it's very likely that she will once Cover Core and Atlas work that out behind the scenes. So I guess you could say that's good news. I just want to talk about the other Atlas stuff to give you a little bit more context about this stuff if you weren't aware. And really, that's the segment. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you soon for the second.